So today I'm going to tell you about a project we're involved in, and it's called Capacity Building in Cybersecurity. So first of all, a little bit about Whatcom. We're a Center of Academic Excellence for a community college, so CAE2Y. I'm a co-PI for CyberWatch West, which is an ATE center that is centered here in California. We also participate in the National Collegiate Cyber Defense Competition. Currently, we're only one of 2 community colleges that are in the Pacific Rim Regional, which is our region up there, although we're recruiting more community colleges. And we have several grants centering around security, including cybersecurity camps for high school students. We will be offering our second one starting this Saturday. So these are 30-hour camps, and the idea of the camp is to introduce the high school students to a career in cybersecurity. Our community college students are heavily involved in creating these camps. Okay, so in Washington State, our public universities, they all have traditional computer science degrees, but they have none that center around information security. My program is a professional technical program, or what used to be known as vocational. So we have an issue where we have students that go through my program and they want to go on to a 4-year degree, but they have no clear pathway, because typically our credits do not transfer directly to a university. So the purpose of this project is to try to fix that. The graduates from my program and other community college programs, they find good jobs. As a matter of fact, in my program, usually by spring quarter, I've already lost some students who have been hired somewhere. And they get hired before they graduate. So we let them finish remotely. But the point is, they are finding good jobs. But what happens is, later on they find out they need a bachelor's degree, and a lot of times they will have to go back and start over or complete an extra year or something. Okay, so what we found is the jobs, especially in information security, require applied skills and in-depth knowledge. So in the community college, our courses are all hands-on. As a matter of fact, each of our 5-credit classes is 7 hours. And so we have a mixture of lecture and lab, but the majority of the hours are applied toward hands-on activities. So what we thought was, well, they're learning the applied skills at the community college, but they can gain in-depth knowledge at the university. So let's try to put those 2 together. For some reason, that door is locked.
Yeah, we had a door stop and
somebody took it away.
I'm the door.
Oh. See, you went to school for something. Yeah, it's applied skills. So we got this grant. We called it the Capacity Building Grant, and in cybersecurity. And it's funded by the National Science Foundation, and it's a pretty straightforward grant. Whatcom will develop an associate in applied science transfer in cybersecurity. Then 2 public universities in Washington State, Western Washington University and the University of Washington, will develop a degree in information security. And from the very beginning, the goal has been that the majority of the credits from this program transfer, and that was part of the grant. So really, what we've done is we've taken our existing courses, our applied courses, and we've added these additional requirements of calculus and physics. And this is really, most of our work right now has been with Western Washington University. And so what we've done is put in some things that they're asking for, and it's basically a calculus and physics and ethics. So the goal is that this will be available in the near future, so that's fall of 2013. We're already telling students about it. we're kind of in limbo because we have to go through a process of having all this approved by the state and so on, but at the same time we're trying to ramp up interest. So I am telling the high school students when I go out to the high schools and in our camp, and also our current students, because they will be eligible to earn this cybersecurity degree. The reason we focused on Western is because they're 6 miles from Whatcom Community College. They do have a traditional CIS program, and they're developing a degree in cybersecurity, and they are accepting all of our courses from our program.
The degree is Bachelor or AS? Or
My degree is AS, their degree is Bachelor of Science.
Corrine, is this an applied baccalaureate or is it regular BS?
Regular BS.
BS.
Right. Western actually wants our credits because they want the students to have this applied knowledge. And they do feel that we do a good job of that. Okay, so in other words, they are creating 10 courses that our students can pick 4 of any of them. And when they transfer to Western, they will complete their gen ed and then do 4 of these courses and some computer science. But I guess the whole thing that surprised me is that they actually, they really want to have students come in and already have the skills.
So essentially they offer division and CS courses, piggybacking on your applied low division.
The new degree will be a bachelor's in cybersecurity. It's not going to be computer science. That kind of got them out of the ABET requirements also.
So what are the courses at the university?
Well, I don't have that here, but I'll get to it.
Okay.
But some of them, like he has a crypto class, pen testing, digital forensics, and some of them are like what I'm offering, but just at a higher level. So I think he's.
It is a pure CS degree.
It's not computer science. He's making a new discipline name.
That's the one that they have, the traditional CS program.
Yes.
They have only a CS degree.
Yeah.
No information or CIS.
No.
Just pure CS.
Just CS. That's it. Okay, so that was Western. Then the University of Washington, they're a whole different story. Okay, so they have 3 branches, and their plan is each of the branches will have like a variation. So their plan is interdisciplinary undergraduate degree at each of the branches. Then we have to develop an agreement with each of the branches. This is going to be kind of complicated. So this is the plan right now is Tacoma will be network and computer security and information assurance, Bothell digital forensics and secure coding, and UW Seattle informatics. So UW Seattle is right in the middle of Seattle. That's their main campus, and then these 2 are just branches.
Sorry, what is informatics? Is that more like a bioinformatics or just the more security informatics?
It's kind of like well, I hate to say this, but I kind of think of it as CS Lite. But they're doing a lot of stuff with data. They're not as much into the programming. Any other questions? Okay. So here's the only graphic I have in this presentation. Okay, so this is the sample educational pathway for students coming through Whatcom Community College. I don't have everything in here, but the idea is that the high school students, we do have some agreements already in place, tech prep, where high school students can earn credit in the high school that articulates to Whatcom. So if they go to the right high school, right now it's Mount Baker High, they can earn 10 credits in my program before they come. We have another option also through my cyber camp where they can earn 3 credits in security if they complete the cyber camp. Okay, then at Whatcom we have these certificates that students can usually complete in 1 year. those are a subset of our current degree. So our current degree is in Computer Information Systems. The new degree will be called Cybersecurity or something along those lines, and then they can move on to the baccalaureate.
Is that AS approved, or what state is it?
Which AS?
AS in cybersecurity or whatever it's pending?
It's pending.
So, okay.
It's in the,
But it's still fall 2013, I mean, that's not that far away, right?
yeah. It's actually been approved by the curriculum committee, and now there's several things that have to happen.
Administration and all that.
Well, that's all good. It's a state now. The state has to approve it. I mean, if you want, I can walk you through the process I had to. I'm not going to roll my eyes when I do it either.
The thing is, if you say fall 2013, you're essentially marketing it, and students.
We're not marketing it yet. We're marketing it under the table.
Oh. Okay.
And also Western, I hate to say this, but Western is moving faster than we are. So Western, see, there's kind of a catch-22, okay? We can't really market a degree that doesn't exist yet, because if they pull the plug on it, you know, so right now we're kind of in limbo, but Western, he has a lot of hoops to go through, and he's ahead of us. So Western is the one with the target date of 2013. We can easily adapt because students who are already in the program and choose to do this would basically just have to complete the math and physics because they're already taking those credits as part of the other degree. So the first time through it might be a little rough, but after that we'll start ramping up.
What level of math are you asking for?
Calculus 1.
Calc 1 and 2 or different?
Just Calc 1.
And what level of physics?
It's a engineering physics. They have to have calculus based, yeah.
Right.
And then they have to take ethics. They asked for that specifically.
But is it 2 semesters or 3 semesters of physics?
It's 1 quarter.
Oh.
Yeah. And then when it gets, actually see, Washington State has the Associate of Applied Science Transfer template, and they have certain requirements for the Gen Ed, and it's only like 25 credits, and they have to come from different areas. So we met their requirements with those courses.
What was your math requirement, and are you finding the students need like a semester of pre-calc?
My current students, the majority of them would not be able to do it. So what I'm hoping is I will get students that can, and I'm going to get a mix once they know. Because, you know, you do get people that are like perfectly capable of doing computer science, and it turns out they totally hate it. Okay, so this would be an option for those people. So that's one place I'm going to draw, and then I'm also going to draw from the high schools in the area because I've got students that are in calculus in the high schools now.
Are you going to maintain a non-transfer AS?
Yeah, I'm just going to have both. Really, there's no impact to us at all because we're using the same courses for both degrees.
With the addition of the calc and the
right. So I didn't list my course numbers and stuff. I just listed the topics that we cover. So these are our core courses. We added the virtualization and the industrial control system security this year. So I'm teaching the industrial control systems course for the first time this spring. And some of those were, they were added like in reaction to what industry needed. So.
What's your network security 1 and 2?
Network security 1 and 2, security 1 mainly centers around like pen testing and stuff because they have to learn how the break-ins happen before they can protect. Then network security 2 is more along the lines of defense. We do not have it aligned with a specific certification, although they are mapped to the 4011 and 4013 certificates. So we cover a variety of topics like snort, things like that.
And then the forensics?
The forensics, this is kind of an interesting class because when I made that class, the idea was that, you know, we've got people in criminal justice and we've got people in IT, and they intersect at that point because both jobs, they are going to have something to do with that. So this class is actually a specialty in the criminal justice degree at Whatcom. And so we get a mix of criminal justice students and IT students taking this one class. And so what they're doing is like, they're using FTK. When I started out, I was using NKs, but they're doing like data recovery from hard drives. They're not doing like network forensics.
So they're just more basically learning the tool?
They're not learning the tool. They're learning the whole concepts, like the laws behind search and seizure. You know, so they're seeing it from the criminal justice perspective and from the IT perspective. They're learning how to seize a hard drive, how to image a hard drive. They don't learn like a specific tool. In my classes, we're not like training them to use tools. We're training them, you know, to understand the concepts and then find what tools they need in order to do this job. So currently we use like FTK, Coroner's Toolkit, a lot of different things.
So this covers a little bit of hardware content.
Yeah, so like when I first started out, I have a couple of hardware write blockers, and I'd actually have image hard drives. I have a forensics machine that's used by the police, a Fred machine, and they would have time on the machine. They have this big case project they have to do. They really like this, but what I have them do is I'll break them up into teams, and they have to hide the evidence. They have to pretend to be the criminals, and then I'll mix up their hard drives, and I'll hand them out to the other people, and then they spend the rest of the quarter trying to uncover it. So we had all this stuff happen. Like one year, it was supposed to be about a murder, and they didn't film. They didn't take the pictures in sequence. So like the person was already dead, you know, and then a few months later they sent a letter from somewhere. So they got everything screwed up, but it was kind of funny. But so things like that. I mean, you know, we've had a lot of almost all, well, actually all these, especially the upper level courses, center around where they have to solve some kind of problem. So my background is I was a network manager before I started teaching, so I always bring that work perspective to the courses. So like I've been there when the entire network went down right in front of my eyes and I don't know what to do. So then I teach that to them, you know, how to handle that. So, okay. So anyways, on our new degree, these would be our additional courses that we have to add in our cybersecurity degree.
So if they come in from high school ready to take Calculus 1, they don't have to do the pre-calc?
No. Our school's pretty flexible. I mean, so we find ways, like especially in the IT degrees, you know, I've got people showing up that have years of experience. So in our regular CIS credits or classes, if they've already done this job for 10 years, I don't make them take the beginning classes. And so we find a way to get it on the transcript so that they don't have to.
Credit by exams.
Yeah, or I'll substitute, like if they come in and they don't need the entry-level class, but they say I'm really interested in learning programming or whatever, then I'll just say, okay, we're going to substitute it. So they've been okay with that. Okay, so once they get to Western, they are going to complete their remaining Gen Ed credits, then the 4 security courses from the 10 that they're developing. Each of the courses is 4 credits, so that'd be 16, and then 38 credits in computer science, and it will add up to 193.
So those 38 are in
their program, yeah.
And did the grant pay for the development of those 10 courses?
Yeah, that's part of it. And he's basically doing, I got it somewhere, but he's going to do a crypto analysis, and then, let's see, there was a pen testing, and then there was, some more forensics, and I can't remember if they took the SCADA class out or not, but they were talking about doing something along those lines. So I don't have the complete list. Yeah.
I guess I'm a little bit confused about the credit accounting. But when they enter Western Washington, are they basically coming in as juniors?
Yes.
With 2 years to go?
Yes. They're quarter credits, so it's 190. You need 190 to graduate. Or wait, 180 to graduate. So there's like 10 credits extra.
Does the grant cover for low enrollment, and do you have, I would assume you don't have that enrollment for your forensics classes?
No. The grant, what the grant covers is the development of these degrees.
And setting up the articulation and working.
Right. And then, you know, we have other schools involved in this, like Bellingham Technical, Northwest Indian College, and other schools. So the idea is once we get it going, we're going to deploy it out so that we will be a, if students decide they want to take this path, they could possibly start at Bellingham Technical and then transfer to us after a year. So right now the main thing is that we actually get the degree, you know, approved by the state. That's what, and then the rest will follow. So University of Washington, this is not as well developed. It's still under discussion. We've had our first or several discussions with Seattle on how we're actually going to do the transfer. Okay, so the UW is like this huge university and there's a lot of red tape. That about sums it up. Yes, that sums it up. Okay, so on my description here, I was going to talk about issues. The main issue, although we seem to have overcome this, which has really surprised me, is the entrenched ideas about vocational education and the value of credits. So, you know, like in the past, a lot of schools will look at those credits as not being of any value. And this actually goes back to a discussion I had with Western over 10 years ago when I noticed they were teaching the same exact thing I was teaching with the exact same textbook. And I asked, you know, will these credits transfer? And they said no. And it was because they taught it at the 300 level, and I taught it, but it was the A+ certification. Okay?
And they were teaching that?
Yeah, they were teaching that in their MIS program. I know, I mean, I just thought, wow, this is strange. So anyways, we seem to have gotten over that, and now apparently our credits are highly valued. I think part of it has to do with the fact that a couple of years ago, I contacted Western and I said, hey, do you guys want to be in the National Collegiate Cyber Defense Competition? And I invited them. And then I went up there and I did a training for the students, the computer science students, and they really wanted to be in it. And so they've gone, they went last year and they did really well. They came in third. And so that kind of like put the focus on the actual applied skills and the value of them. So they actually think that our classes are very valuable. I shouldn't sound so surprised, I guess. Yeah. So another issue is navigating through committees, and I know everybody in here already knows about that. And it can be difficult at times, but we're making it. And, you know, really, there are entrenched ideas at the community college also. So this will be our first AAS-T at Whatcom. And so there's a lot of people trying to adjust, you know. So then gaining state approval, which should not be a big deal. Basically, you just have to turn in a bunch of papers and then hope nobody complains. Yeah, I hope nobody reads them. And then the main thing will be recruiting students that can succeed at the higher level math. And I am not worried about that at all, because You know, in my program, I get all kinds of people. I get people coming in with bachelor's degrees that want to learn how to do something, you know, and so they've already completed their calculus. I've got business majors coming in. I've got people with masters sometimes. So it's just that we're going to have to target the recruiting to a different pool of students.
Okay, but what's the end result? I mean, what is the employment?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. Oh, wait, I'm not there yet. Well, let's see. I'll answer that in a couple of slides. Okay, so another issue is that the community colleges in Washington State are now offering bachelor's degrees. So we have several community colleges that are going to do a bachelor's in information security.
4 years. 4 years.
A 4-year degree from a community college.
Which ones?
They all drop the name community as soon as they get approved.
And they go to the higher WASC.
Well, the ones that will do information security are, I don't know if they've actually announced it. There's 3 of them that I know of. Okay, and you know, people discuss this a lot because, you know, people are always trying to figure out, well, if I get a degree from a 4-year degree from a community college, is it worth as much as a degree from a university? I don't really know. I mean, what I see this is there's several, now the students have several opportunities where before they had nothing. So this is good. We chose not to go that route because we have our university right there. It may be down the road we might go that way, but right now we're not. Okay, we also have Western Governors University, which is the preferred university. That's where my students are going, because Western has just opened their arms wide for any community college students. This is a public online university. And so this is Western Governors, which is not the same as Western Washington. And
California, Washington, Oregon, Nevada, Montana.
Yeah, the Western Governors made it. So yeah,
and all online.
Yeah, and it's cheaper and it's competency based, so you can work your way through faster if you want to.
Bachelor's degrees.
Yeah.
4-year degrees.
And my students are, they take them in at junior level, so they like all the credits, and
they have degrees in cybersecurity?
They have a degree in information security. They have IT degrees. They have a school of IT. And, you know, I've been asking them every year, how do you like it, you know, so I'm asking the ones, I've had one that's completed her master's through them. And she got hired by Boeing while she was still in my program. And she was in there and they paid for all of this. But so that's another competitor, and so the universities are getting a lot of competition now.
And how does the second 2 years of that, the curriculum, compare to what Western Washington is?
I don't know. I'm not familiar enough with the program. Western Governors University is heavily centered on certifications. So as the students go through the program, they don't get credit for the course unless they pass, like I think they have to pass the CCNA in order to earn credit in networking. They've got Linux Plus and all of that. So they tied it to the industry certifications. Western Washington University is not. They're not tying it to any industry certification. Also, Western Washington University is going to have a heavy component of computer science in it. I don't know how that compares to Western Governors. I would say Western Governors is more interested in the practical application of this knowledge, but they don't get as much in depth. But I don't know, I've had several students go through it now and they like it. But I've had some students tell me online is not for me. I want in-person, I want an instructor. And so that's why we need all of these options for the people. So let's see. Okay, so the goal is we will increase enrollment once the degree is in place. We're actually increasing enrollment now, but I expect it to, I hope it's going to like boom. And right now we're building interest among the high school students through the NSF-funded cybersecurity camps. And then I have this option for them now that if they go through the camp, they decide they really like it, you know, especially in Bellingham, everyone's hung up on the 4-year degree. Okay, so now if I have a student that wants to do security, you could like satisfy your parents and yourself by getting a 4-year degree in security. So everybody wins. And our students in the CIS program will have a clear pathway to 2 universities in the state. And if it's successful, you know, I expect that it's going to multiply. Okay, so we actually take this really seriously. You know, the nation is in need of people that have these skills. So Western and UW will benefit by the increased enrollment in this new program. Also, UW has that Scholarship for Service program, and so this is a grant where they provide money to students to complete their degree, and then they work for the government. So anyhow, this will be feeding into the UW's what they've got going now. And Washington State, we will be producing more well-trained graduates, and then the nation will benefit because there's going to be a larger pool of graduates to draw on that actually have the applied skills. So the whole point of this is that it's kind of a new way of looking at things, but these students, they can not only talk about it, but they can actually do it too at the same time. So they will be better prepared for the workforce. So,
what criteria did you use when selecting the courses? Well, I guess you were using your existing courses, but at Western, do you know what criteria that they used for the new classes that they're adding? You know, why did they choose the particular classes that you developed?
I believe some of it has to do with the NIST framework. Some of it, I pretty much left that up to them. So we didn't get involved into any kind of heavily, like going through the knowledge. It was whatever they decided that they needed. So I'm not sure what he did.
So those additional courses, it was only the ethics course that you had to actually create?
No, that's a philosophy class.
Oh, so that existed.
Yeah. We didn't create anything. We are obligated to create a network security capstone course, which I'm kind of thinking about incorporating the training for some of these cyber competitions into the course. Because right now, the way I do it is I have 2 hours a week with the club that I train. I help them get ready. And so if I could just make it into a class. But we are obligated to create that class. And the other 2 we have already created, and that is the SCADA class and the virtualization. So our obligation was to create those 3 classes.
Were your courses always above 100 level numbering?
Yeah. So we're there's no what do you call it? There's no like remedial computers in my program.
Is there any indicator from local employers that they would hire more graduates if they were more graduates?
Well, the students, I mean, I've been doing this now for 13 years, and I actually had a student come back last year, and he told me, I was 28 when I was in your program, and now I'm 40. Okay, but he was there to hire 2 of my graduates. Okay, so what I'm getting now is that because nobody ever leaves, or not very many people leave, the people that graduated earlier are hiring from Whatcom. But I also have people that are getting hired by Boeing, and Boeing, the nearest one is pretty far away. They have to relocate. Okay, so, and then I also have one refinery that hired one, and he's doing the operation, the security for the refinery, the IT security. And so yes, there is a demand for them. Part of it's based on, you know, they already went to that school, and part of it's, you know, based on reputation, I guess. So I think that's basically it. I have the CyberWatch West logo on here. I'm also co-PI for CyberWatch West, and I don't know if people in here are familiar with it. This is an ATE center that is located in California. And so if you're not a member, I have information up here for anyone who might be interested. But it is, the purpose of this center is to help advance cybersecurity education on the West Coast. So they have a lot of benefits, and it doesn't cost anything. So, any other questions? Yes?
Is any of this curriculum being offered on the continuing ed side at Teacher College?
No. Although we do have 4 mobile apps courses that we are currently offering as continuing ed that we are moving into the credit world, but no, we don't offer any of this. So are there any other questions? Okay, well, thanks.
Thank you.